and welcome to my September vlog. This is everything I've been doing in September. I got up to a lot, but I found a really common theme this month is me deciding to quit things. Now don't worry, I'm not quitting YouTube and I'm not quitting art, but yeah, just various things that I sort of started and found they didn't work for me. So yeah, there'll be more about that in my video. I'm not sure if this is very good lighting for me. I'm just looking at myself in the camera and it's like, I'm not sure this lighting's doing me any favours at all. So, what did I do in September? Let's get started. This is Sketching the World and I'm Kat, a writer and artist from Australia, but my dream is to sketch the world. You might remember way back at the beginning of this year when I went to Tokyo, I bought these paint pigment mixers when I was at the pigment shop, and I finally got around to testing them out. I got a few binder materials from Jackson's, and yeah, so with this I'm mixing the pigments with gum arabic, which is the binder you use for watercolour, and then I'm testing out all the different colours and just experimenting with the colours I can make. Unfortunately, I didn't have anything like a eyedropper, so it's meant to be a 50-50 mix, half pigment, half gum arabic, and I couldn't be really accurate about that because I was just doing it by eye. Funnily enough, I poured the gum arabic into the middle of my flower palette and I didn't rinse it out straight away, and it just set really hard, like varnish. So if you're ever trying something like this, be really careful about the gum arabic. Next up, I decided to try some granulating medium, mix that in with the paints that I've made to see how they look granulating. Then I played around with that. I wasn't really happy with it, but then I remembered that I don't really like granulating paint that much, even when I buy, like, you know, the big name brands. It was fun to play with though, and I just made a bit of a mess swatching it all out, but it was fun. So I'm playing with the paints. I decided to use some real watercolour paper to see how they acted on that. And what I was trying to do here was to test if the paints I'd made were like real watercolours. But then it made me start questioning what is real watercolour, like what does that actually mean? And realising I had no actual definition of what real watercolours were. Now I'm going to do something that I suggest you do not try at home. I got some marble dust because with my research I found out that's what you add to watercolour to make it into gouache, and I was going to put a mask on to use it, but I was a bit too keen to experiment with it, so I just grabbed the marble dust and put it in with the palette knife. Not a good idea, especially if you're like me. I'm really funny with dust. Like, I don't even use pastels or anything because I hate dust. I could feel that dust on my skin and in my throat for the next week. To be honest, I was going to make a whole video about making my own watercolours and doing a whole thing about it, and then I just was really resistant to it. Every time I thought I should do it, I just, you know, was getting a big case of the procrastinations. And I think that's something that you should listen to. It's like, you know, you're telling yourself, hey, this isn't something I really enjoy or isn't something that's fun. So what I did was nothing. Nothing. I figured if I am not interested in what I'm doing, then it's obviously not going to be interesting for you to watch either. So yeah, kind of fun to play with for an afternoon and make these colours, but not something I want to keep doing. even though I was enjoying these sessions playing around with my inks, I came to a really big decision. And I feel a bit foolish about this because I've just done a whole video on my Inktober prep. But I decided I don't want to do Inktober. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, again, health issues, it's not a priority for me, and I think it could be a bit stressful trying to do a whole sketch, like coming up with the concept and actually sketching it for a whole month. And yeah, there's other things I want to do this month that don't involve Inktober. I'm not really up for any challenge or any kind of drawing challenge. So yeah, hope everyone else who's doing it does really well, but I'm quitting Inktober. I joined a watercolor class. I'm very keen to improve my watercolors, and I thought going to do an in-person class would be a great way to do that. I'd have someone give me one-on-one instruction and be able to correct any mistakes I've made. I turned up the first week, went and had a coffee and Portuguese tart first, and then got to the classroom all excited to start learning. Wasn't quite what I expected. Yeah, I'm starting here with painting up some magnolias, and I don't know, I kind of wasn't that happy after the first class. There were a few things too. The teacher kept forgetting my name, calling me by the wrong name. She also knocked my walking stick to the floor and then just sort of looked at it and walked off, didn't even pick it up. A few things like that that just made me feel really uncomfortable. The second week of the class, I was sick. And now I'm heading in for week 3, giving it another chance. I wanted to stop off on the way, do some sketching, and so I had so much stuff in my backpack. All my sketching gear plus my painting gear. And yeah, went and had a cup of tea and did some sketching. So I headed to class and stopped to do a quick sketch beforehand, bit of time to kill. So this was part of the streetscape. Then I headed up to the class and we were painting birds, and yeah, it wasn't a good session. I felt like I wasn't getting anything at all out of the class. I was sitting there painting birds from a photo with the teacher giving me some quite contradictory advice and being just a little bit passive aggressive. I told her I thought she was a bit rude the week before, and I don't think she liked that. So I decided I'd quit. I mean, I'd already sunk the money into paying for the classes. I wasn't getting anything out of them, and it was just very frustrating, and I was having to pay money to actually get there and get an Uber home after the class. All up quitting is awesome. That is my main takeaway from this. Okay, I've got a bit of an art haul here. I didn't film the unboxing because I didn't realise what I'd ordered. I didn't realise what it was when I turned up, which was quite funny. So yeah, I got some inks that I needed to complete the colours. I got a red and it's acrylic ink. I wasn't planning on buying that in acrylic ink, but I did. I also got this liquid gouache. Have you ever heard of such a thing? I haven't. And so I had so much curiosity about this. It's really lovely. But my sister's been using it more than I have since I got it. And this one, which was meant to be a mustardy yellow, it's not quite as mustardy. Funnily enough, the Rohrer and Klingner inks, I bought 2 of them, and so far they've both been yellows. So anyway, I'm going to swatch these and we'll see what they're like. My sister and I headed into the city. We had tickets for the Accidentally Wes Anderson exhibition. We were so pumped about it and it was just so much fun. We took lots of photos and I've got like a whole video coming up on this. So I just wanted to give you a short taste first up. But yeah, it was great. And then after we had our fill of that, we went around the corner, found out there's a place that does Japanese soup curry in the city. One of my favourites. I love Japanese soup curry. And yeah, I want to go back and have some more. So the lovely people at Rohrer have given me this set of coloured pencils to test out and review. I'll be getting into swatching them in a minute, but just look at them. And they're in a 2-layer pack. I don't know why, but something about that 2-layer pencil set just gets my inner child squealing with delight. So I found a reference picture that I want to use to test out these pencils. And first of all, I'm putting down a layer of gouache because I really want to see how they lay out over the gouache. That's one of the main things I want to test out with this test picture. So this is just getting all the gouache, and I'm using that liquid gouache I showed earlier in my art haul. I think I'll be getting a few more colours in that. I really like using it. And yeah, just getting all the basic colour blocks and details down. With a picture this size, it's good to use the gouache rather than do the whole thing in colour pencil too, because I would just take forever colour pencil in this sketchbook this size. I've started putting in some of the details in pencil. They're gorgeous. They layer really well over the gouache layer. I'm really happy with how they're working. They're also very vibrant. Some of the lighter colours I found didn't work well over the paint. That's probably true of most pencils. The Derwent drawing pencils are one of the few pencils that do work really well for that. And over the clump of trees on the left-hand side, I was kind of not able to get in with a lot of detail there. But mostly, like, it's really bringing these little canal boats to life. Barges, that's what they're called, I think. Yeah, really bringing them to life and getting all those details in nicely. They are soft to use, but not so soft they need sharpening all the time. And apparently light fast, according to the details, there's a light fastness chart in with the swatch card, which is really handy. So all up, the Rohrer pencils are great. I really enjoyed using them. I like the colours, the brightness, that they're very pigmented colours, and yeah, the softness was a big bonus. I like soft pencils. As I was using them, I thought that'd be a great Christmas present if you know someone who's fairly new to art, or like a teenager that's looking to level up the materials that they use. Yeah, so overall my review is really enjoyed using them. Great pencils, great price, and I'll be using them a lot in future. So that was it. That was everything I did in September. Looking forward to October. It's going to be a low key month. I am actually thinking about going on a sketching road trip, something I've never done before, but we'll see how that pans out. I'm doing this to hype my double chin. Yeah, so quitting, I just want to talk about it for a while. I feel it's something that people put a very big moral... I just noticed I'm wearing my Do Nothing Club t-shirt, which is very appropriate when you're talking about quitting. Yeah, people put a lot of moral values around quitting, like, oh, I'm not a quitter, I don't quit. And it's like, well, why not? If you don't enjoy something. I mean, I can understand something like, don't quit your job unless you've got another job to go to. Don't just, if you've sort of got a history of working at a job for a month or so and then quitting, it's bad. It's not good. Especially, when it gets to maybe more than 3 or 4 times, it's bad. But yeah, if you're doing something for a hobby or enjoyment and you're not getting any fun out of it, what is the problem with quitting, really? I mean, you're investing not just your money, but your time. And time's one of our most valuable assets. Well, for most of us, you've only got so much time. I'm starting to feel it. I had my birthday this month. The clock's ticking, guys. Inktober. I kind of wanted to do, but not. I mean, I might still do a couple of the prompts or something, but yeah, I don't want to have to do an art challenge every day. I don't want to be committed. I am thinking about doing the Frightful, a few of the prompts on that, which is a digital art thing, digital, like in Procreate, and it's sponsored by the Retro Supply Company, who do some really great brushes for Procreate, and it'd be really good to sort of learn a bit more of the digital stuff. And it's also like quite easy if you're sitting with your iPad watching TV to, I mean, I guess you could do that with any art, but you just need your iPad, not a bunch of other art supplies. And yeah, other than that, there's something else I was quitting as well. I can't remember. But it's been nearly a year since I quit smoking. See, quitting, it is good. Yeah, so that's me in September. As always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. I've got a really fun one coming up, inspired by Wes Anderson. So keep an eye out for that.